Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Monday, the 16th of September. Well, Sunday, disappointing day really. I think it was round about money back in the end if you'd got the prices from the night before. The nap of the day ran pretty decent. Even the two that came placed ran decent, but in my opinion, they were given too much to do, and not. Spanish Blaze was probably given the worst ride out of all the selections. Elim was expected to pick up quicker than it actually did, and I think it's a lot of time we're finding that jockeys expect too much of horses just to pick up really quickly on slow ground, and I think that was a problem. It was travelling well. I just think he should have gained a bit more momentum from a long way out. And unfortunately, Badri finished probably exactly where I thought it was going to. Finished fourth, only paying first three when I expected it normally to be an extra place race. So yeah, we're unlucky not to get four placed, and we did well Saturday. We're getting a number of horses placed. So let me get into Monday's selection. So I've got a fiver in my account, so I'm having a 15 pence each way lucky 15 and a 25 pence each way accumulator. So the first selection is Total Lockdown at 9 to 1 in the 145 at Thirsk, paying six places instead of four. I can't ignore the fact that this is Alice Haynes taking her horses north again. At Thirsk, she's got a 30% strike rate. I've seen she's got at least two there. But this first one, Total Lockdown, it had its first run for her last time without the headgear. It normally has a hood. Well, the hood's back on, but it ran okay. But it can run in and out with or without the hood. So Alice Haynes, like previous trainers, seems to favour a hood again. So the hood's back on. I don't think it's got any problem with the distance. It's dropped over the last couple of years. It's dropped quite a lot in the ratings. So I think it's on a mark where it could pop up at some point. I think 9 to 1 is too big a price, especially with Alice Haynes's strike rate at Thirsk. And I think the horse has got a chance anyway, even disregarding Alice Haynes's strike rate. So the next selection is Pancake in the 215 at Thirsk, paying four places instead of three. This horse, 13 to 2, I think it's too big a price. It's Michael Dodge trained. It does well at Thirsk, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, he has a lot of runners there, but he also has a lot of winners there. I haven't looked at his strike rate. I just know that obviously he's a northern trainer at a northern track. This horse, it's been running or peppering near to its handicap mark that it's been allotted. Its racing post rating ties in pretty close to it. I think this extra furlong should bring out the bit of improvement that this horse needs to get involved and go very close. It's a competitive race, that's why obviously they're paying the extra places, but I do think it's got a decent chance. I think it's Connor Beasley on board again. He owes me a favour really. He's had a number of disappointing rides on horses that I've selected, and yeah, the first two have got chances. The third selection is Chat Up Line. I've left the price for this one. This is the nap of the day, and this is in the 350 at Thirsk, paying five places instead of three. The reason why it's a nap is because if it reverts back to its form at the beginning of the season, I think it's got every chance. And I do believe that the bookmakers have only overlooked it because it's been out of form recently, but there's a reason behind that. So it was running well in the spring. I think it was a spring or late spring. Over 6 furlongs, it was running on slow ground and running pretty well. And then it ran an absolute stinker. I think it came last or tailed off last. It was then up to 7 furlongs, and it's been run over a mile recently. And I think it doesn't want that distance. And because it doesn't want that distance, it's been looking to as though it's been running poorly, when in fact it's not been staying over that far. So I think reverting it back to this trip, and I don't think the longer distance, like the regular longer distance races recently, will have a negative effect because it's been racing prominently but also racing from behind. So it's been running several different kinds of tactics. So I think this horse will be prominent throughout. I think it'll relish this slower ground. Don't go, it's not that testing. It's good to soft. It might be a bit slower in places, but I think this horse is currently 12 to 1. I think 12 to 1 is a tad too stingy. I know it's been up of the day, and I should say take the price because it's well in and all this. Well, it's a bit of a dark horse. It could quite easily finish last, but I think the 12-1 is too short a price for what it's been doing recently, and it doesn't stand out unless you look closely at it. And even though I said it stands out, you've still got the chance that it doesn't perform. But I think it's got a decent chance. It could be a possible drifter, and I do think that it could run better, much better than its recent form. And it's Tim Easterby, so therefore they don't need form to win. And the final selection is another Tim Easterby horse. It's Amaretto at 6-1 in the 420 at Thirsk. Been a bit in and out recently, but its most recent run was the most encouraging. That was at Southwell. I don't think it was just because of the all weather, because it does like the all weather, but it also likes the turf. So I think after a good run, a bit of confidence for the horse, I think this horse in what is it's a tricky race, but it's not a great race. And I think 6-1, it's an okay price. It could well turn out to be either a shocking price or a fantastic value. But I think 6-1 is worth taking. With this bet with Sky Bet, you won't be able to cash out because I haven't taken the 12-1 about chat up line. If you do want to cash out, if we do have a good start, you may want to think about taking the prices. I don't think 12-1 is a ridiculously bad price for chat up line, but what I do think is I do think it could be bigger. But then again, I've been known to be wrong. So, quick recap on the selections. So there's all 4 selections. I don't know how clear it is. I'm on my phone. I'm holding my phone. I'm sorry about the shaky. So I tried to do it on a screen recorder, but it didn't work. So the first selection is Total Lockdown. It's got a bit of a sneak on form, dropped massively in the ratings. Alice Haynes has got a 30% strike rate. She's also got a decent place strike rate as well. Pancake, self-explanatory. It's Michael Dodd's. His horse is up north on a track that it does quite well at. And I think this step up to 6 furlong will be absolutely fine for it. The third selection, like I said, is a nap of the day. It's Chat Up Line. This horse is capable of better than what it's been doing recently. The slower ground should be right up its street. I think it's Duran Fentanyl on board, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter who rides it, to be fair, does it? It should be prominent, I think, because it's been run over further recently. I think they should race it prominently just to take advantage of that little bit of a stamina or a bit of endurance that it's built up by racing over further. And the final selection, as I said, is Amaretto. I expect this one to race prominently. It's 6-1. It's got an obvious chance. And like I said, the recent run at Southwell has hopefully put the horse in good form, heading in the right direction, bit of positivity, and hopefully it can run very well. So those are the 4 selections. So if you can give me a like or a subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.